Hi guys, Matt here. Hope you're doing really well. In this video here, going to show you the importance of routes in Integromat, how that will save you time, save you a lot of frustration once set up correctly, and why you would need to set up your routes in particular ways. So I've got a real example over here. So with routes, how Integromat works is it's a visual builder, and that's why I love it so much. There's details down below if you want to try it yourself. But with Integromat, it connects all your apps together, and you can actually see the flow of your data in action. So it branches out, hence all these branches that are leading this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, so on and so forth. So what order are they going to occur in? So Integromat works from top down. So to give you an example, there's a brilliant explain flow down the bottom. So you see where my mouse has hovered, the plane, you click on that once, it's going to show you the order that the data is going to flow through your scenario. So it comes here, it goes to top branch, goes into all these, so on and so forth, comes down here, this way, then goes to this module here first, then this one, and this one. And you can probably see, talking about the visual nature of Integromat, I like it because by default, the native apps that you include show, you might recognize this one here, which is Slack, this one here, which is OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive. Plutio, you may not recognize, but it's a wonderful app some people use for project management. I use it for financials, invoicing and whatnot. So going back to here, so the scenario has just finished. So it finished down here and going up here. It's going to repeat itself. So I'm going to turn this off. Let's just go. We'll just let that one run. I'm not sure how to turn that flow off, but it would help the demonstration as we progress. So with the route, so Integromat is effectively connecting your apps together. So bringing data from one app to another and making it communicate automatically once set up correctly. And that happens 24/7. So as you can imagine, if the data is transferred from one app to another in a certain way, it would also be fair to say that that would create dependencies. So if data starts in the top routes, it would only be able to transfer that information if it has already occurred. So if you have something down this bottom route here that you're relying on as a first data point to transfer into others, it's not going to work that way because it's at the end of the flow, if that makes sense. So an example here is this one here. So Plutio, as I'm using it, is watching for invoices. So it's watching the status of invoices that are paid. So once it is paid, it's going to go up here, set the variables. So there's another reason why I set it like this. It does help for easier fault finding and structures things a lot easier. And then from there, it notifies Slack, goes to my Slack channel, notifies me that's occurred. And this one here, it actually creates a folder in OneDrive. And this one here, so what happens here is it creates a project. And if you go down here, it finishes, it goes to CRM, updates that. I don't need to explain all this too much, but the important one is down here, and this is why it's at the end. So this is a very important part of my business, which is an online database, and there'll be plenty of videos on this. So the actual software I use is Airtable. It's so very powerful, and it puts all your data in a meaningful way. You can manipulate data to work out how much revenue, reporting, all that sort of stuff. It's really wonderful. Anyway, the reason why this is at the bottom is because as part of the process of the invoice being paid, it's also going to upload the invoice from Plutio into here. So for this purpose, I call this my CRM. So it's a one source of truth. And that's why a lot of people use Airtable. So single source of truth. So it's going to upload the invoice into that. So by very nature, as by design, apps don't communicate with one another without any help, and this help is where Integromat is so powerful. So we've actually made it possible for the independent application, in this case Plutio, to actually send that data automatically to all these other modules, finishing up here and uploading it into my CRM. So I'll give an example. So what has happened here is, by mapping these modules, so this end module, which is Airtable, is the CRM that's being used, to the trigger module, which is this one here, which is in this case the invoicing application, we've made it possible that this one here is going to communicate past the invoice detail into the CRM. And that's made possible because it's been mapped. So this is why it's so good. So you map all these modules together. I won't go into that, but this will just give you an idea of what's possible. So have you ever, as a business owner, have you ever needed to copy the invoice details or URL or proposal or something into a different system that you use, like your CRM? And if so, how often do you do that? And do you think something like this would help you save a lot of time and reduce the chance of errors? So that has happened in that case there. And to give you a real life example, this is what's happened automatically. So I've just obscured the actual client's name here, and I've purposely made the URL shorten here, but this has happened automatically. So because we've set up Integromat in such a way, here we've done the hard work to make sure it's all mapped accordingly and passing data. We've eliminated that process of ever needing to do it ever again manually. So again, this is all automated, so this continuously flows. So depending how often you want that to occur is dependent on you. So straight away, or every minute, or every hour, whatever makes sense for your business. And it's actually put all the data directly into this module, which in this case is Airtable, and it's actually updated here. So it's actually pulled the details because we've all mapped it all and placed the invoice link automatically. So that's happening for us. So there you go. There's a good example of a structure and why you need to set up in a certain way, because there's dependencies. So again, recapping, this is an invoicing app. So you may have something different. You may have Xero or something else, Zoho Books or QuickBooks, whatever you use. And by having the structure thought through and the flow of data in such a way, we've made it possible that by the time it goes to the last module here, which is a CRM, the data that has been passed is able to be updated automatically. So there you go. Any questions or feedback, welcome, and feel free to get in touch. Details below, and also learn more. Thanks guys. Matt K, Bill with K. Enjoy the rest of the day. Cheers.